Welcome to another episode of Follow the Brand TV. I am your host, Grant McGaugh, CEO of 5-Star BDM, a 5-star personal brand and business development company. I want to take you on a journey through another deep dive into the world of personal branding and business development using compelling personal stories, business conversations, and tips to improve your brand. By listening to the Follow the Brand TV series, you will differentiate yourself from the competition and build trust with prospective clients and employers. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Make it one that will set you apart, build confidence, and reflect who you are. Building your 5-star personal brand is a great way to improve your skills and knowledge. If you have any questions for me or any of my guests, please email me at grant.mcgaugh@5starbdm.com. Now, let's begin with our next episode on the Follow the Brand TV. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another great show on the Follow the Brand TV. If you notice, I've got a nice new little setup here. I wanted to go a little bit more natural as we get into our holiday seasons. And today we're going to have a very, very special guest. First, we got a lot of good feedback from the show I did with David Gamble from the NFL. And people are like curious about, man, tell us more of this inside track, how these athletes actually live and how they get their momentum and how they get to that level and what it takes to really compete in the NFL. So we're going to go a little bit different with Reggie Walker. Reggie Walker played 7 years in the NFL with 3 teams, the Arizona Cardinals, the San Diego Chargers, then San Diego, maybe they're the LA Chargers now, and then you have the Denver Broncos. But he also made a lot of fanfare, a lot of splash in college at K-State, the Kansas State Wildcats, and he was a phenomenal linebacker out of California. So he was a named person, All-American. He's been living that life for a long time, and now he's retired. And he talks about that intersection between the NFL and mental health. And we're going to have a serious discussion around that, but we're going to go in deep and have a better understanding. I want you to come away from this show with a better understanding of the athlete as you're watching the NFL, as you're watching these games, and understanding them as people and what they go through in the business of football. So with that said, let me take you in a little bit deeper into Reggie Walker. We're going to show a commercial, and then we're going to have a conversation with RW. How about that? The game within the game with Reggie Walker. As you look back at the prolific life of a football player at Kansas State Wildcat, you see one of the most famous linebackers to play the game. Number 53, Reggie Walker, was a feared defender. Most offenses had to go into the game understanding that 53 was on the field and he was definitely going to bring the pain. Reggie Walker was an outstanding high school and collegiate player. He could drop back into coverage as well as tackle quarterbacks and come up with the game-changing interceptions. Many within the conference would always talk about 53, where's he at? And before you know it, he was right on top of you. You did not have to look for 53. He was right there. As a prolific defender and a team favorite, Reggie Walker consistently and automatically brought offenses to their knees. Even my famed Nebraska Cornhuskers were not immune to number 53. Because 53 was definitely bringing the pain. As we look back at Reggie Walker and his career and where he is at now, remember, he had a beautiful career in the NFL and was the team captain on many of the teams that he played for. So we're going to talk to him about the game within the game. All right. Well, let's welcome Reggie Walker. I hope you enjoyed that clip. Reggie, what do you think?
Oh, it was pretty dope. I appreciate it. It was really dope.
Got some memories? Did you get some memories from that?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, that did happen. Yeah, that did happen. I forgot about that. Yeah, I don't even think about it as much as it's like a whole different person, whole different thing.
Different stages of life, different times, going through, a career stance. But I want you to help us because there's a lot of football fans. I'm a big football fan. I try not to miss games. I watch the Thursday night game. I'm watching Saturday football. I'm watching Friday Night Lights. I'm watching, Sunday football. I grew up loving football because I'm from Nebraska. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska, right? So yeah, we talked a little. I'm a big Cornhusker fan. Go Big Red all day long, and I loved it. We used to listen to it on the radio, and my mother would sit there and she would scream high. People thought something was happening to her, and because of the way she would just react to all the different plays, and I just love the sport. And I played Little League, or minor league football, and all the way up until it got to the high school level and realized, I'm a little bit too small for this kind of competition, but I still love the game. I want you to take us through if you can remember, one of the most memorable experiences. Take us through from the player perspective, stepping out on the field. The crowd is wild. It's a huge game. You are psyched. People are on one side or the other. The game is pivotal, and you have the game of your life. Help us understand that one.
Yeah, so that the clip that you just saw when we played Nebraska, that was from my true freshman year, and like I was telling you off camera, it was the first game that I really understood what Big 12 football was, the situation I had gotten myself into, and what this actually was when you're actually doing it, not watching it on TV. Because I remember I was sitting in the tunnel. Coach had just told me about what we're going to do right before, and we were about to run out into the field. And I just was just thinking, like, man, I'm so nervous. I'm shaking. And then I look out into the middle of the field, and in the middle of the field, you just see the shaking like this, like really, really high. And you're like, dang, it's so loud. It's so loud that it feels like it's an earthquake going on. And then you run out, and I remember stumbling out at first because it was the vibrations of the whole stadium. And then I remember we went off. They booed us, of course. We're there in Lincoln. And when they came out, I remember just being so loud to the point where I couldn't even hear the next person next to me. And I was like, wow, this is like, we're in it now. Like, dude, you're in this. Like, and you're playing against Nebraska. It was just a crazy place to be. But I was hyped though. I was really hyped.
Oh, I bet you were hyped because you play. I know you played some big games like in high school games, but being from Nebraska, I'm a little biased, but it's legendary. This is the only sport in the state of that magnitude, and we've had pedigree for 30, 40 years, and this is it. This is our Saturday, and we're going to show the world, go Big Red, right? But I tell you, when you came out and I saw those clips and I saw some other things that you're doing, man, the enthusiasm that you have for playing the game. And I saw you when you were mic'd up. You were with the Cardinals and you're doing the jet thing and you're just running and you're doing your thing, and the way you were talking and you were smiling. And take us through like when you were having fun playing the game at the pro level?
Oh man, I'm glad you brought the mic up one because I was like they got me on a good day because they got me on a really good day, and then I also knew too because I was mic'd up. I couldn't normally be exactly how I would normally be because um like you turn it on when you're out there, and then when you're done, you turn it off. And I was a whole different personality out there. I loved fighting. Loved it. I loved hitting someone in their face. I loved making people quit. That was my thing. Is I want to make you quit, and I'll do anything possible to make you quit. And I tapped a lot of people out. That was like my thing. I'm gonna make you not. I want you. If if we're doing something, I want you to be like, hey, bro, chill out, chill out. I don't, no. I don't want any of that. Like, no. And it was every game I got people to tap out. So I take a lot of pride in that. But I just I loved the art of it. That was the thing that made me love football the most. I love the technique work because it is like martial arts in a lot of ways. It's like it's not just being big and strong and fast. That helps, but at the end of the day, it's really technique and skill, and then how you sing the game that's really going to separate you from the next person on the field. That is. Um, that's where I felt I really excelled. That's why I really love. And even when I watch it these days, that's the thing that I'm looking for. I'm not really looking at who's really playing or anything like that. I just love to see the craft of it.
I tell you, situational football to play linebacker. People realize, I don't know, a lot of people, there could be some football fans here. When you're playing linebacker, this is my perspective. You are like, you're the quarterback and the running back of the defense. And the focus is on you because if you break down, it's going to be a big play, right? It's either going to be a big play, you're going to stop them, or you're going to set them back. You have to read that situational awareness. They're calling plays. You see these guys out there and they're jogging. It's almost like they're standing in place and they're just pitter patter with their feet, right? They're looking at the quarterback, seeing where that play is going to go. Is it a run play? Is it a pass play? Am I going to get into the lane? Am I going to get an interception? Man, take me through what you're feeling and what you're thinking when you're on the field like that.
To be honest, you're not really thinking of anything.
Wow.
It's the wildest thing. Well, you shouldn't be. You really shouldn't be because you've already done all that. You've done the film work. You know your plays. You know what they're going to do. You've looked at the film on them. You've practiced all this stuff all this week. So then when the lights are on and it's time to go, you just go. I see it go. See it go. Like as soon as you see it, you go. Like that's what you should be doing all game. This looks like this. I'm not even. There's no hesitation. I'm full throttle that way. Um, and because there is times you are kind of thinking like, okay, it's 3rd and 15 or it's 3rd and 2. Like, what are they going to do? What formations we're going to get? But you've already looked at it so much because you got to understand to really be great or excellent in this to really just even stay there. You have to be obsessive. You have to be very obsessive to a degree in which most people don't really it looks on the outside like this is kind of a negative thing, like you're not concerned with anything else but this, and because you're in a situation where the more time you can give towards this, the better you're going to be and the better everything else will be, because a lot of everything else is based off of you performing. So you have to be completely obsessive about this and nothing else matters. um, So, of course, you're going to know what they're going to do. As soon as they stand out, you already know they're going to do these 4 things off top. And as soon as I see my key on this play go, I'm flying. Like, but that's just what it is. You have to be obsessive. You have to be a little paranoid about it. You have to be a little, you have to carry a chip on your shoulder the whole time because the difference between high school and college and then football, then the NFL, is the reason why these people are there in the first place. There was lots of guys I played with in high school that could have went to college. Lots of people I played with in college that could have gone pro from a talent standpoint. But as much, but everybody that was there in the NFL, the reason they're there, it wasn't just talent. It's not just that. That's only a small part of it. It was the reason why they were there in the first place. Like for me, for instance, I was doing this because I was going to be happy. I was searching for happiness through football, and it was in my mind, it was, I'm going to get this or die trying, and if I got to go through you to get it, I'm getting that, like 100% of the time. And but you're also going against other people with whatever their thing is, they're going to go through you to get it too, and whatever has to happen is going to happen. So it's me against you, and it ain't going to be me. And it's every play, every day, even practices, even meetings, it's always there. So yeah, it's a crazy mentality to be
No,
in.
that's full go, full go. Because these are the strongest people, maybe the strongest people on the planet, especially for everything that football players are built in a certain way, and it's very gladiatorial, right? It's gladiator sport. I mean, it's a I call it, it's a beautiful symmetry. It's almost like slow motion car wreck, right? Because there's giant collision that happens,
Right.
like every play. But it's fun. I had a lot of fun playing the sport, and there were some things that we talked about. I want the audience to get to understand, because you got a little bit of that understanding. This is about the intersection of football and mental health. You just talked about the mind game. That's what sets you apart from a professional as far as an amateur. And then all of a sudden, the total immersion into the sport. You're totally immersed in the sport, because if you're watching film, the way you just said, you're watching tendencies. You've watched this team play maybe 4 or 5 different. You pretty much know their game set. They're not going to deviate too much, because people play to their strengths. You just got to be able to be strong enough to take that away. So now you're there. You're there. You're doing full go every day. That's mano a mano. You talked about waking up in the morning, maybe 5 in the morning, just to get into the cold, what do you call that? The cold hot tub or
The
something
hot
like
and
that.
cold tubs, yeah.
Take me through how you get started in a day to day, just an average day in an NFL professional football player.
Okay. Yeah, it's a real big routine thing. As far as, I'll set my alarm for like 5 a.m. I'm gonna drive there. When I'm driving there, I'm listening to stuff that's gonna put me into that mentality of like the environment that I'm going into, because you know that you're preparing for war. Like you know what you're getting in for, and it's not just, oh, I'm preparing myself for the team that I'm going to be playing against that week. No, I'm preparing to make sure that I I'm continuously going to be here. I'm going to be here tomorrow, because it's still a competition. You don't just make the team; you make the team every day. So you have to get yourself up to this point. Plus, two, it's football. It carries with it a 100% injury. It's not like an if thing; it's a win thing. So you have to prepare yourself mentally as well as physically before you even get to the meetings. So I would go in, listen to some stuff that's going to put me in that mood, and then I know I need to go hit the hot tubs. I'm gonna hit the hot tub, hot tub, cold tub, like the contrast to get my body right, because you know especially after the third week of the season, that's when you're just like, man, like everything hurts. Like everything hurts. You got to get yourself, ready. And the older you get, the longer it takes. So, yeah, you might have to hop in the cold tubs, hot tubs, and the cold tubs like before practice, after practice. Man, if you could dip your toe in before, right before, like you tried everything, just to compete. Um, but then once the meetings start, it's like, okay, like you got to lock in, and you cannot be that guy, like the person who doesn't know their stuff. They ask you a question, you don't know what the heck you're talking about. You're not asking any questions. You're not locked in. It's in a way you're walking on eggshells. You can't be the guy who's creating any type of issue. You cannot create any type of problem. And how I said it was very broad, because it is very broad. As far as, I know that if I have a weird conversation with somebody, I'm going to be thinking about that in the back of my mind, because I'm like, man, is that going to be the reason I'm out of here tomorrow? Like,
Mm.
or somebody like crazy things that you've seen, it. Like if these people are messing up and you're close by to them, you're guilty by association. You might not be there tomorrow. Like it's a very you have to be paranoid and so you can actually look at everything. Just like when you were talking about the mental health, and I think you'll see by me describing it, this is not a great environment for like maintaining the balance of mental health. It's either go or not. It's either up or down. There is no in between. Because we got to win now. Things got to happen now. I could get injured tomorrow. My whole career could be done tomorrow. So I got to maximize on every single second of every single moment of this. Or one, I won't get what I want. Or two, I will be fired and never get an opportunity again, because there's been plenty of people who could play and never got picked up again. And if you get released, that's what it could be. And it has nothing to do with just talent, especially the relationship part. It's a crazy dynamic to be in. But then you go out and you go in your meetings, you get done, you make sure you're on your stuff, then you go out to practice, and now it's just like, okay, now I need to go perform. I need to make sure I'm on my stuff. I can't be that guy out here screwing up, like not knowing what I'm supposed to be doing. You get done, you do that, hopefully everything goes well. You get done with practice, you sit right back in the hot tub and cold tub again, because you just ran into a guy full speed repeatedly for like 2 hours. you know, you're hurting. You go do your treatment. You go sit in some meetings again after that for the next 2 hours, and then you go home. And then when you're going home, that's when um, I would try to take it down. But the thing is about it, like I'll listen to some jazz, R&B, whatever is going to be the thing that's going to help me to relax, because you're so up, like geared.
Jack, yeah.
And then I got to go home as I have kids, and you can't just be that guy at the house. So I would listen to something that would calm me down, but I only would let it get to a certain point, because you're going to have to do this again tomorrow. And you cannot lose that chip. It has to stay there all the time for your safety, as well as like making sure you have this job. So that was also something too. The longer that I kept doing it, the more that chip just started kind of wearing you down.
I can imagine that.
Yeah, I
So
am always in this. Yeah,
the fact that, first of all, what you just described is a highly stressed situation. Highly stressed. You just said that any given day you could lose your job. And this is not just any job that you can just go get another job tomorrow. There's, obviously compensation involved with that. There's contracts involved with that. There's other people, because you're playing with a team. Even though you're very individualized, you're playing with a team. If that team is not performing, all these, there's just a lot of, I hear what you're saying with the paranoia. You started getting into, you're very good physically, but then you're having to have this extreme going on in your mental world, right? When I think of a football game, especially when I think of a football game, I think when, like you just described, stepping out on that field in Nebraska. I'm sure it's the same. Any pro stadium, you step out there, high anxiety, high energy. Everything is just up. But then like anything in life, it's got to come down. You've got to find a way to balance all of that. Talk to us about, first of all, what was that chip on your shoulder, and more about when you got to that point where it's like, I've got to now start letting this go.
the chip on my shoulder was I had to prove everybody wrong. I had to, like, or I was gonna die trying. I had to prove every single person wrong that told me I wasn't what I knew I was. Because after, especially after therapy, you start understanding these things. But at the time, I didn't. I Because my situation in college was was bad. It was really bad, to the point where, I walk in there every day. They're trying to make an example out of you every day. They know what you're trying to do. You have no control. We're literally dealing with a dictator, as a coach, a head coach, after my first year. And then this dude made an example out of me every day, every single day. He never missed a chance. You know, people laughing at you. That's all. Like when I think of college, I think of that. Like people laughing at me. I'm like, dang, you got like people ain't having your back. You're in this situation, no one understands it. You're getting death threats. You're getting hate mail. Anytime you lose, you walk around on campus, everybody's giving you this look. Like the level, and then the thing is too, the whole time you're maintaining, knowing I'm gonna make it. I'm still gonna make it. Like I don't care what none of these people say. I'm gonna make it. I'm making it. Everyone telling you bad. I remember even season was over with. Me and another guy are meeting with the Patriots, and we were gonna go in. He was gonna show us a play. We're gonna walk him through the play. Just real quick thing. A lot of like draft hopefuls do. And one of the coaches, right before I walk into this meeting, says, "I don't even know why you're doing this. There's no way you're gonna make it. There's no way you're gonna make it. There's no way." Right before I walk into the meeting, and I was just like, "Okay, for sure." And then I went in there, crushed it because I went in there, crushed it because I knew I knew who I am. And it's funny because after I think my first year, I came back and gave a speech back to them. He was the first person that stood up and was like, "I knew you would always do it. I knew you'd always do it." I had some crazy stuff happen at K-State. That I also got. I remember I sat down in a meeting. It was all the coaches, the players. I mean, the team captains, the supporting staff sat down, and they, head coach threw a card down. He said, "Pick it up." I picked it up and it said something FBI agent, and he said, "I'm getting you investigated for point shaving." I was like, "What? Like me? It's like 5 of us out here on defense. Like, like you really me? Like what?" And I remember looking around, and everybody's put their head down. So it's just me. I'm 21. I was like, "It's just me." And he's like, "I'm gonna get you investigated for point shaving." I was like, "Show me this evidence." Right. And then the thing that he showed me was the wildest. Like he was trying to get me to quit. He was trying to get me to quit for 3 years, and I just wouldn't quit. I wouldn't give up. And I knew it drew him up a wall. And then this was like one of his final attempts. It was like this every day though. So then when I go to the NFL, I came in there hot. Like, oh man, like, because I didn't even start more than half a season in college. Yeah. I never started more than half a season. I was the ABC player of the game when we played Texas Tech and played 2 plays the next week. I would get a sack and they would take me off the field the next play. I would make a splash play, they would take me off the field the next play. They did not want me to succeed at all. So when I got to the league, I had a hell of a lot of anger. Yeah, and that chip, I was like, nope, they're gonna see. All those people's laughing, everybody saying all that stuff, they're gonna see. But like I said, after a while, it definitely started wearing me down too. At the same time,
taking you to another level. That negative reinforcement is what I'm hearing, and definitely, you're doing good, but someone is still not. There's no encouragement there, which is I don't get involved with, but I understand what you're saying. But it molded you to a certain degree, and I like the story that you're telling us. We're going to go to break, and then when we come back, we're going to start talking more about, as you started getting into the end of your career, you started to notice things just within yourself. We're going to start talking about these things. So you hear about players, concussions, things like that after the game, what life is like. Let's get into that discussion. Let's talk about that. How about that?
Awesome. Let's do it.
Right.
I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black business. I am Black Business. Are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black business.
The Black Business Expo's mission is to raise funds for high school seniors going to college or K through 12 entrepreneurs. This expo is a fundraiser for students. Please, you may go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com to donate to the scholarship fund or use the Cash App at $BBXUSA. Our goal is to give laptops and up to $5,000 to 10 students. Students can register online at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com. Every dollar counts. Please donate to the Black Business Expo USA Scholarship Fund.
I started Gateway Healthcare Solutions to help medical facilities to improve their financial performance. GHS has a healthcare denial prevention strategist practice designed to improve healthcare financial services, offering denial management and business development with a strategic approach of mechanisms for hospitals, clinics, and providers on how to maximize payer contractual agreements.
We are a growing firm with a demonstrated record of success with our client projects by leveraging our wide-ranging skills and expertise to assist with delivering high-quality services such as denial management, revenue cycle management, strategy consulting, management training, medical software, and contract management. Our approach offers an analysis of your current state coupled with a proven solution and execute with a process improvement strategy and implementation methodology for our clients.
GSS develops an understanding of its customers' problems by identifying, assessing, and tailoring the services to suit the business needs. Selecting the right healthcare solutions advisor can bring you the management services you need and peace of mind you deserve.
Call us today for a free consultation. All right, and we have returned. First of all, thank you again, Reggie, taking us through that first half hour, your experiences as a great football athlete. And when I say that, I mean, you've been an athlete of note in high school. That had to be 4 years. And obviously, you probably played before that. Let's call that another 3 years. So that's 7 years. Then you played and started, as a freshman all the way through Division I football. That's another 4 years, right? So let's call that 10 years. And then you played 7 years in the NFL. So that's 17 years. You've probably had more than half your life with these collisions, right? A lot of different collisions. And I still say, to play 7 years of pro football, when the average pro football player plays like 3 years, and you were melting that chip down. You melted that thing down. You got it to where, like, you know what, it is. But then it started to reveal other things. Now we're talking about that mental layer. Talk to us about when you started to realize, hey, there's some issues here I need to deal with myself. Because a lot of people, that's the hardest thing, to really look in the mirror and say, I need some help. And when you're one of the strongest gladiatorial people on the planet, you got to get past your ego to say, this is a problem. And as we see now in pro football a lot, they're starting to put in more protocols in there. But you just told us about all these added stresses that are even off the field. These are huge mental stresses. So take us through that.
Yeah, well, I had to get to a point where I realized that just doing everything with anger, in this environment, or like, it wasn't the way. And then how things were structured, like how you get things done. You ever heard that saying, like, just because you're good at something doesn't mean you should be doing it.
Yeah.
Like, I understood, as stressful and paranoid you could be sometimes about just every little situation, its importance in this environment. I was really good at that stuff. Like, that's the stuff that I wrote the course about, like in the book about, and everything, like building and maintaining relationships, understanding how the system works, and how everything was going about it. I had figured that out from college. And so the college situation, as bad as that was, actually prepared me for the league, because the league was a lot worse in a lot of different ways. But I started realizing that there's, like, I don't want to do this like forever. Like, I don't want to keep doing this. I seen the toll it's taking on me. I'm starting to break down physically. As far as just the love for the game started breaking down, it wasn't like that. And the veterans said, they would tell you when you first get in, you're going to know when it's time. You're going to definitely know when it's time. And when it's time, you need to leave, because this is something that you need to either be 100% in or 100% out. Because if you're half stepping, you got 1 foot in, 1 foot out, then it's really dangerous. Because, again, it's me against you, and it ain't gonna be me. And you're over here like, I don't know if I want to do this or not. Like, no, bro, like, it cannot be that. That's why I told you when I went to Denver, and I was like, man, this is one of the best teams I ever played on.
Yeah.
Everybody's good. This camp was the craziest camp. It was one of the hardest camps I went through, because everybody was good. Everybody's making plays. So them even going to the Super Bowl, I wasn't shocked. But like I told you off camera, when I went in there to talk to Elway, and he was like, hey, we're going to release you, I shook his head and I said, thank you. I am done with this. Like, I'm straight.
Yeah.
I don't want any more football. Like, I am so good on this. And I still I could have came back later in the season to a couple teams, and I just told them no. And it made me. It's good to sit there and know, like, yeah, you got released, but you could have came back. You still could have kept playing, but you decided, like, nah. I mean, enough was enough. You decided not to, and I'm glad I didn't make that decision, because physically at that point, my whole left side was trash. Like, basically neck down, because I hit a lot with my right, so my left is taking a lot of the force from that. But then also mentally and emotionally, from holding in that anger all the time, you got to turn it on, and then you turn it off, but you never quite turn it off. It's always there. And now it's getting to the point, I was like 7 years into this, and you're just like, I'm tired of dealing with it. I'm dealing with life like this. Like, it's breaking me down. I don't like how I am with, even when I come home, I feel like I was three guys at that point. I was either sad, hated everything, hated what I was doing. What am I doing with my life? I love everything about everybody, and this is the best thing, blah, blah, blah. Or I was dead silent. Like, wow. That was it. And then afterwards, so then me seeing that, I was like, dude, I can't keep doing this. I can't. This isn't healthy at all now. It's not fun anymore. It's not fun. I'm hurt. Like, I'm tired. I'm
Mm,
exhausted.
yeah.
I just had enough. It was fine. It was fine. I'm thankful and grateful for my career and everything, but you just get to that point. You really do.
I think we all, first of all, I can see what kind of toll that would take on a person. I can't imagine. Just think about this, my audience. Think about this: that every day for 7+ years, every day you ran into a brick wall. Every single day with everything you had, every day, that's what your job was. You run into that wall. You run into that wall. You run into that wall. So that takes what kind of person could do that? And I remember, listening to some of your previous talks, and you said it takes a specialized individual to play professional football because it's not just physicality. There's other things operating within your psyche that can create that kind of, momentum, be able to handle that kind of stress. And then, of course, yes, you get to a point where, it starts to hurt. Let's put it like that. It starts to hurt. You took us through, you know, people that have been around you through, you wrote a book, The Game Within the Game. You're starting to help other athletes that are now retired because you have to now decompress from that type of environment, that everyday environment that consumed you. You've been immersed in it for years and years and years. It provided you a living. It was fun, but then it became obsessed. You have to do it, not because you want to do it. You have to do it, and then it changes. Talk us through what prompted you to write your book.
What prompted me to write my book was just the situations I've seen and the understanding that I had after going through it compared to what I thought of it going into it, and how different it is on the outside from what it is on the inside, and how most of the kids that I saw fail, it's really because they don't have the understanding of how it works between the lines, like in between the lines. That's why the book is called The Game Within a Game, because it's the game within the actual game of playing whatever sport. And it's the same in every sport too. It's not just football. It's, if there's money involved, there's people involved, there's championships involved. You know, it's not just talent. It's not just being big and strong and fast. No. For instance, I understood that every single day, and when practice is over, they're going to sit behind closed doors, all the coaches together, offense, defense, whatever, and they're going to look at everybody on the roster and they're going to grade you. And the thing is, you need as many people in that room that have a positive um, view of you to be basically allies for you behind that door. If if you don't, it doesn't talent, they won't care. We'll just find somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, and it's a team sport. And we're recruiting every day. We'll just find somebody else. And no matter how good you are, we can hide that. It doesn't matter how good you are. If we don't like you, you're not playing. If we don't trust you, which is even deeper than that, if we don't trust you, we don't like you. I mean, we're not gonna play you. And they gotta like you first. And when it comes down to things, you can't just be in there kissing people's ass. That's not how it works. You have to understand how to form that bridge of communication between these individuals. Like, especially since you're in this environment where, you're from Alabama, you're from Georgia, you're from the hood, you're from the country, you have parents. I only had one parent. Like, and you have to form a bridge of trust between you guys. And a lot of kids, and that's just one thing. That's just one thing about it. And one little element you got to know. Another thing, when it comes to dealing with the pressure of the situation, you're going to want to drink or party or whatever you're going to do to come down from that. But they're going to know everything that you do off top. They're going to know every single thing that you do. I remember I went in there and I went and saw a movie by myself. There had no one there. I went and walked and saw a movie, and I remember a coach came up to me and was just like, "Man, how was that movie yesterday?" Just letting you know, we're looking at you, and it's not something you can flip out. It's like it comes with the territory. But what getting back to why I came into K-State, I think with like 24 people, 4 of us finished. I came into the NFL, I think, with 14 people. By my third year, 2 of us were still there. And all you see, and then when I got done, yeah, I overcame all these obstacles and did all this stuff and did what I wanted to do with my career. But the thing that really, it just didn't sit with me was the fact that, man, there's been so many other people that should have got here too. Leave the game on their own terms, like, be content with leaving, get everything you want out of it. But if you don't understand that inside part of it, you're done, because talent doesn't matter. And it's every sport is such a, what have you done for me lately type business.
Yeah.
I've seen guys go out there, get 3 sacks in 1 week. He is gone and not on another team the next week or the week after. I've seen that. I've seen that. Or, dude had 20 tackles and did not play the next game. And
so it's an interesting sport, and it takes a lot. It's a lot of, inside, outside, hurdling that you had to do. You did it. You did it for a long time, for 7 years. So I give you your kudos and your props for doing it. And I'm glad you wrote this book, because you're helping these other people that are now getting into the league, and you're giving them at least a guideline, and a playbook. Here's a different playbook for you to understand if you're going to survive this league for the long term. We're going to go to break right now. Then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about the things that you're doing next and how we can get people involved in your book and the other organizations that you're involved in. Welcome to Follow the Brand TV. I am your host, Grant McGaugh, CEO of 5-Star BDM, a 5-star personal brand and business development company. B for brand, D for development, and M for masters. Today, I'm going to take you on a journey through another deep dive into the world of personal branding and business development using compelling personal stories, business conversations, and tips to improve your brand. By watching the Follow the Brand TV series, you will learn how to differentiate yourself from the competition and build trust with prospective clients. As the saying goes, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So make it one that will set you apart, build confidence, and reflect who you are. Building your 5-star personal brand is a great way to improve your skills and knowledge. If you have any questions for me or any of my guests, please email me at grant.mcgaugh@5starbdm.com. Now, let's jump into our next episode on Follow the Brand TV.
5-Star BDM, Brand Development Masters, is a professional consulting and advisory group keenly focused on business development services for the small to mid-sized business and entrepreneurs. Although every business is unique, they often share business development challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. Services include process improvement and operations, digital strategy and transformation, business intelligence, digital marketing, and personal branding. Our business and personal branding company has helped a number of professionals and organizations to optimize and grow. This results in more business, more opportunities, better reach, positive outcomes. Visit www.5starbdm.com today to learn more.
All right, we are back. So, Reggie, you've written a book, you've got some programs, you've got some courses that are out there. Tell us about what's going on.
Yeah, so when I got done, I decided, I really wanted help more kids succeed in this environment. There's a big veil. They need to understand what's behind the veil and how to operate with this knowledge, because I felt like that was the biggest need and how the biggest thing that I could do to help. So I sat down for 3 years and I just wrote. I wrote this book, The Game Within the Game, to basically serve as a manual for student athletes who are going through this process on how to not just survive the process, but thrive during it and after. Then, based upon that book, we created a course that's college accredited, so you can get this information and get college credit for it. And through either institutions that are nationally and regionally accredited. So basically, you can take the course for anywhere, and then the course credit will be accepted anywhere nationally. Can't say everywhere legally because it is academia, but it should be accepted everywhere. And that's the thing that we've been doing, that partnering with nonprofits, organizations, just places where it makes sense to get this information to the demographic we're trying to serve. That's what we've been doing these days. And it's been,
well, I tell you, let me ask you this, because I know you probably talked to a lot of ex-players, a lot of retired NFL players now. They're out of the game. And maybe they've been out of the game, 5 years. You've now been out of the game like 7 years. So you've kind of like come down and into a different world now, like doing something different. You had to all right, now I got to find a different way to make money. I've got to find a new way to promote myself and find my uniqueness, and whether it's in the career or business, to move the needle forward. What is the biggest challenge that you have seen from the players that you've talked to for retirees?
The change from, I need to be solely good at this one thing, and then that will help me in everything else. Like if I'm just good at this, then I can pay somebody for this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, But when you get into, civilian life, you can say, I need to be good at this, and this, and this, and this. Like I need to stretch myself more. I can't just be solely focused on this one thing. And then the things that I'm not good at, I have to be really good at either learning how to do it myself or finding people where you could delegate it to. Mm-hmm. And being really good at managing the whole thing. And then also to the pace, because everything in that environment is, the best way of putting it is like like every day, and then life is
different pace, yeah.
And you're trying to get used to that, and it drives you nuts after a while because you're just like, dang, you're so hardwired one way. I remember the first year when I got done, it was just hard to sit down on a couch. I told myself, you're hurt. You need to relax. You need to get yourself together. This whole year, you're just going to be on the couch. Like you're going to get yourself together and you're going to do whatever you're going to do afterwards, but you got to get yourself together.
Yeah.
And I remember just not being able to relax. Like just couldn't do it. I went on walks, skateboarded, did yoga. Like it just could not fully come down. Because I've been in this environment, just like you said, for 17 years, like 10 years. Yeah. Especially college and the league, that was like 11 years now, over a decade in this whole all day. So it's been a process. Yeah, it's been a process with that. But I would say that was probably the hard thing. Like you got to be good at a lot of other things too. Or you
all of the above. I've heard players say that one of the things that they miss, because you walk out into a field of 80,000 screaming people, whether they're screaming for you or against you. It's a huge platform. The lights are on you, whether, like I said, on the field, off the field, especially if you're playing for a city, the entire city, is kind of tuned in. You might have, like I said, those three players. You played with some phenomenal players yourself during your tenure. And then all of a sudden, the lights go out. And then you're trying to find like that quiet. I mean, for you, was that a big transition, or are you like, give me the quiet?
I was so ready. like my last year before I got released and went to Denver. That last year in San Diego was horrible because I had every week. It took so much to just get up for it. And then when it came to the fans and people screaming and stuff like that, like I didn't even care anymore. I was just over it. Like I was just so over it. I was tired of just, not having like peace and quiet, and you're always under a microscope. Like, man, I want to go somewhere where people don't even know me. Like, I don't like that. I like my own peace. To be honest with you, I'm an introvert who can do extroverted things. People drain me. So, and you're around so many people all the time. Like, I can do it and it's great, but I have to have that time to really just kind of be quiet, just sit with myself in my blanket. Like, when I got done, I was ready for it. I haven't played in enough games. Like, I already did it. Like, if I want to get that feeling back, I watch a video or something. Like, I was ready. And I did not watch football that whole first year when I was done. I didn't watch any sports, matter of fact, that whole first year. I was trying to relax. That's it.
I could get that, man. You needed to. I would figure what you described to me, you were at work, running a lot of energy for 17 years. Like, I need to let me just set it down here for a minute. Reverse some things, find a new muscle. You found a new muscle, right? And not to have to use your muscles in order to use those muscles. Let me ask you this. We got a minute or so left. Who's your favorite football player?
I like a lot of people for a lot of different reasons. I love Patrick Willis. I love Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman, even though we played against them every year. I used to watch them and just be tuned in like, dang, these dudes are amazing. They're amazing in their own different way. They're very similar. I love watching Von Miller too. And then the dopest part about it is he's a great dude too. It was like, he was in Denver when I was there. I was like, this dude's a phenomenal athlete, like technician, works his face off, and he's a good guy. He's funny. Like he's eccentric too. So he's like a one of one. I would say those guys for sure.
So if you had to get your jersey retired, what team would you want your jersey to reflect?
Probably Grant High School.
Did you say Grant, Grant?
No, Grant High School.
That's what I thought.
Where I went
Grant
to
high school, like my name.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go to your high school. We getting that jersey, right? You're gonna put Grant on there, Grant, right? And you're gonna have a little like follow the brand, like a little logo on there. Right?
If I could find that jersey, man, I'd be happy. But I don't even know where I did.
We're gonna get you that jersey. I think that high school definitely deserves it. I really appreciate it. This has been phenomenal. If anybody wants to get in touch with you, what is the best way for the audience to get in touch with Reggie Walker?
I would say two ways. Probably as of today, LinkedIn. I like LinkedIn. It's the easiest way. To me, that's like my favorite platform because you're not going to do a lot of stuff on LinkedIn that you're going to do on Twitter or Instagram or anything like that. There's Facebook. There's a way less filth you're going to see. So I like that. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'll respond back. But also too, our website, thegamewithinthegame.com. It's going through a little maintenance right now. We're revamping some things, but in the meantime, you can hit me up on LinkedIn, and you can also reach out to me on that site for sure.
Well, I tell you, this has been phenomenal. I thank you for being on the show, Reggie. I want to tell your entire crew that they can also tune in all these episodes at www.5starbdm. That is B for brand, D for development, and M for masters.com. This has been wonderful. I can't wait to meet you in person. I can't wait to see that shirt. We're going to get him that shirt, right, to Grant High School. He's getting that shirt. Let's go ahead and make that happen. Thanks a lot, Reggie.
Thank you, Grant.
everyone, it's Grant McGaugh, CEO of 5-Star BDM and host of the award-winning Follow the Brand podcast and TV series, where I help you to build a 5-star brand that people will follow. My genius is personal brand development through intelligent communication and helping you achieve your business and career goals. I am a requested speaker on digital technology and brand development issues. I want to work with you to increase the value of your current opportunities while attracting new ones. Every one of you is unique, and we all share challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. As a super connector, I work with you as an executive coach to guide you along the complicated business and career development road, providing the enhancement tools and information you need to succeed. Together, I will help you succeed in today's challenging business climate. I will evaluate and measure your progress. Best of all, I am right alongside you every step of the way. Build the brand called you. Genius.